With me is Brad Galli, Channel 7 Action News.
What's up, Dylan? You want to say hi real quick? You pop your head in.
How's it going?
Detroit Sports Media, helping kids.
Yes, I'm from Waterford too. I'll get you after the game.
Come on, Peter.
We have. Yeah, they remember me, and that's usually where the raid comes in.
You and Dylan, the two Waterford legends.
There you go. All right, well, taking a look at Ron Gardner, I think by everybody's estimation, has had a terrific season. What is your take on the move behind Brad Ausmus and now coming into this year?
I don't know if it's terrific. I mean, it's tough to judge the first year of a rebuild in a positive way, but I think what we've seen is that maybe Ron Gardenhire should have been the guy a couple years ago, right? I mean, the way he has gotten the most out of some of this young talent, the way he's created an atmosphere and vibe that I saw in Lakeland when we went to spring training, the guys like playing for him. They like being in the clubhouse with him, and I think he took an ownership of that clubhouse that we didn't really see Ausmus take. When Ausmus came in, he was still a young guy. He was managing for the first time, so I think he saw a locker room that had a championship culture in his eyes with guys that were established, and he kind of let them run it. And I think that culture ultimately didn't prove to be a winning culture, and it what tore down this team.
Yeah, I think you and I are on the same page. If we could go back and play crystal ball, I think that if he'd been here instead of Mr. Ausmus, I think they might have milked out a year or two. That one year they were begging to win, and they just collapsed in September. It's the first year.
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult to watch with this team being deconstructed, and to see J.D. Martinez tearing it up last year with the Diamondbacks and now with the Red Sox, to see Justin Verlander win a World Series and to dominate even better this year. It's difficult to see these guys leave and to say, well, wait a minute, they were all here. What happened? How did something not happen? When J.D. Martinez came back with the Red Sox to Comerica Park a couple weeks ago, he said that when he was with Verlander at the All-Star game, the one question they kept looking at each other and asking was, how did we not win in Detroit?
Still talk with Victor Martinez. He's hanging it up after the season. What are the couple big takes that fans should really think about from Victor? Not the last couple of years, but Victor when he was Victor.
I will take the last couple of years, because Victor could have been the guy that could have helped pass the torch to these younger guys. And if you walk into that clubhouse sometimes, it's very much Victor and the people around him. And I think that's been disappointing to watch a career that was so solid as a guy that was such a big part of so many great baseball memories for people here in Detroit. He didn't really carry on any sort of leadership role in my eyes. And now you'll hear some of these guys now say it's great to see him come to the ballpark and put the work in every day. And I don't know what goes on behind the scenes in conversations, but I think I see enough, and a lot of people see enough, that it's been a little bit disheartening to see a guy who was such a good hitter end his career the way he has, and to watch it happen. It's also what happens to the body, right? It deteriorates, it goes down, but it would have been cooler to see it end a different way.
Taking a look at the Detroit Lions, the backup quarterback situation, they got to go with Matt Castle, don't they? Is it backup?
I like Jake Rudock. I watched him succeed at Michigan. I've watched him in the preseason. I don't think they brought Matt Castle in on accident. Matt Patricia knows what Matt Castle can bring to a team. He's got a big family. He's not going to move somewhere with them on a whim. I would imagine there were conversations between Bob Quinn, between Matt Patricia and Matt Castle. Not a promise, but an assurance that you're going to be given a fair shot. And by all indications in camp, he's been given that shot. He's been the guy that they've almost turned to see in that backup role. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Matt Castle on this roster to start the season.
Some of the whispers right now on the Lions, who that some of their draft picks, they're on the spot right now, the ones that are under Bob Quinn's tenure. I mean, is that a fair assessment from guys that were drafted a couple years ago? Because they have not looked good in camp.
Yeah, I mean, A'Shawn Robinson is a guy that's been a little bit befuddling. Miles Killebrew, a guy who's now changing positions. You can't hit with every draft pick. Bob Quinn has hit on a few, but you'd like to see him be a guy that could develop those low-round draft picks like they do so well in New England. And I think everyone looks at that New England blueprint. People have come from New England and the hierarchy there and not succeeded. I'd like to see Quinn maybe change that tide and change that. We'll see if it happens. I think I'm about to get.
You got to go.
All right.
You know what? See ya.
See ya.
That's one way to have somebody leave you, but actually being introduced out there onto the field is Brad Galli. And so we're going to take it back to the studio. We're having a blast. Hopefully you are as well.